Good day everyone. So in this video, we are going to discuss the third reading in the Spanish period. But first, let me introduce myself first. I am Kris Bernardo and I'm going to discuss the brief overview and summary of the poem. This poem was written by Dr. Jose Rizal. During the Spanish period, Jose Rizal was a prolific poet. He was well known during the colonization of the Spaniards for his political and social commentaries. He is able to put his principles into his writings. His writings inspired the Philippine Revolution. Aside from these writings, depicts political and social situation during the Spanish era. His works was also well known with his use of artistic and beautiful language. One of his famous works was this poem, which is To the Flowers of Heidelberg. This poem was written on April 24, 1886, while he was in Germany and pursuing a degree in ophthalmology. This poem wasn't about politics and doesn't depict any social situation of the Philippines unlike to his other works. It is full of homesickness to his motherland and to his loved ones. He expressed his patriotism and love for his countrymen. He was fascinated with the beauty of German spring and found inspiration with the blooming flowers as well as the fragrance of the woods. This inspiration leads him to write a touching poem for the Philippines and his loved ones. Let us move on to summary. On the first stanza of the poem, he poetically requests the flowers of Heidelberg to speak of him in the Philippines, followed by the second to the fourth stanza, wherein he mentioned the time, starting from the dawn and break of sunlight. He asked the flowers to witness his undying concern for his country. On the fifth and sixth stanza, he described his plan for the flowers, and this plan was to carry his message to his motherland. On the seventh stanza, he described his message to his motherland, which is peace for our country, virtue to woman, and courage to men. On the eighth stanza, he expresses his longing for his loved ones. He poetically described his will that his kisses on the flower may be carried by the wind to his loved ones. And for the last stanza in the poem, he uses the flower of Heidelberg as a symbol for his love to his motherland. He compared the beauty of the flowers to his love for his motherland. The flower symbolizes two realities: his love for our country, and the flower's reduced quality refers to his presence in another country. Overall, Rizal's poem entitled To the Flower of Heidelberg symbolizes Rizal's love for our country. In this, he effectively employs natural imagery to express his longing for his motherland and loved ones. He wishes peace for the Philippines and the citizens. In this poem, we can able to see his patriotism because of genuine and strong love for the Philippines.
Application of the poem. Rizal used the flower of Heidelberg as his symbol for his country. He compared the beauty of the flower on the way he looks at his motherland, that anyone who will see the flower will get in touch with Rizal's concerns for his motherland. Analysis per stanza. First stanza. In this first stanza, Rizal emotionally requests to the foreign flowers to speak for him and go to the Philippines. The second stanza. In this paragraph, we can see that Rizal wants the foreign flowers to gather and witness the time of a day from sunrise to sunset. Third stanza. In this paragraph, Rizal beautifully asks the foreign flowers to witness his undying concern and for his family and motherland. For this stanza, in this paragraph, in the morning, Rizal reflects still about his native land. Through the sun, he feels connected to his motherland. Fifth and sixth stanza. In these two stanza, we can see that Rizal poetically tells of his plan for the foreign flowers. To carry his message to his motherland, he plucks them and preserves them in his book. Seventh stanza. In this paragraph, Rizal wishes to his motherland peace, to be a faithful land, virtue to woman, and courage to man. Eighth stanza. In this paragraph, Rizal tells of what he wants, that his kisses on the flower may be carried by the wind to his family or loved ones. Ninth stanza. The last paragraph reflected on its utter futility. For him, once the flower reaches his country, the flower, color and fragrance and beauty will never be the same. That, reflected to his intentions for the country, will be long begun, because he is far from his motherland. The most figurative speech used in the poem is personification. So the symbolism on the poem is love and beauty. The flowers symbolize in two realities. First, the flowers symbolize beauty and love for his country. The other one, flowers' reduced quality, refers to Rizal's useless presence in another country.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alleiah Bicarme. So the next is theme. The main theme of Rizal's poem To the Flowers of Heidelberg is exuding love for his native land, a love which has grown in intensity as he traveled from country to country. He was homesick, and the flowers reminded him of the ones blooming in their garden at home. The beauty of the flowers is comparable to the way he looks at our country, that anyone who will see the flower may get in touch for his motherland. The poem is a reflection of Rizal's feelings based on his experiences, and also manifests a reality of connectedness between man and nature as well as man and society. Next, sociological relevance of the masterpiece during the period. Rizal effectively employs natural imagery to express his longing for the Philippines. He also wishes peace for his country and countrymen, and subsequently compares a person far from his homeland to a flower losing its fragrance. He wants the maidens to extend his message of love, longing on continuous safeguard to the native land, that his humble heart remains faithful to the land where he grew up. Rizal, through this poem, only wish eternal peace of the land, that no man shall be harmed, and everyone adhere common good. The poem brings wonderful memories to the Filipinos after reading. It creates inspiration that remind us about the beauty of life and the deep bonds of connection that people have with each other. Like Rizal feel when he was in Germany. Though he liked Germany, he misses the Philippines, because Filipinos have a strong bonds of connection. The poem was his way of telling the Filipinos that his loyalty was still to the Philippines.